Hi, this is Reflections, and I'm Nancy Joy, Weekly Reflections. And this is Memorial Weekend. So busy for a lot of everybody, graduations and vacations and visiting. Anyhow, had lunch with some friends, and we were talking about, of course, a lot of things. But one of the things that came up was Oprah's goodbye show. And one of the things that she had said was, that what she learned and what she hopes she's helped people learn is that you can always take responsibility for your situation, for your life, and make changes for the better. And I think we all believe that. But my question is, do we all take responsibility in our own lives for making that change? And there was something I wrote in a Reflections back in 2096, and this quote was from Victor Frankl, who was a survivor of a Nazi concentration camp and went on to be a psychiatrist. And he said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth as well as our freedom. And, I thought this pretty well summed it all up, and I pointed out at lunch, I said, Ezekiel has always said whenever this whole thing about responsibility comes up, that the true meaning of the word responsibility is nothing other than, and as simple as, responsibility means respond to your own abilities. You are never given more than the abilities you have to handle any situation. And, we know Earth School's a tough place, but we all chose to come here and to be here. And to blame our situation on another circumstance, on a group, on the weather, on anything, just isn't going to fly, especially during this time of shift in the consciousness. I even I work with someone who blames his soul for his situation. Well, of course, he is his soul, is a part of himself. So there's that too. There's the inner blame as well as the blaming things outside the self, when actually it's all about taking responsibility. There is nothing you're experiencing, of course, that you didn't create. Another one of my absolute favorites that I say often to people, because it was said to me during my learning, is if you're standing in garbage, pick it up, it's yours. If you're involved in a situation, if you're standing in a situation, you all know this, it's the thing about victim consciousness, you're not the victim. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and learn how to respond and take responsibility. And Victor Frankl has the next piece. That space where you can make that change is the space between the stimulus of the situation and your response to it. And usually there is that space. Oftentimes people shut down emotionally when disaster, tragedy, something beyond their comprehension happens, because they have nowhere to go with it. But there is always that space. And as you become more and more conscious, it's learning to identify that space where you go right in to repeat a pattern instead of being conscious of the opportunity to change the pattern. So therefore you have that growth that he speaks of and that opportunity. So this week, let's take a look at spaces and places in our life where we can step up to the plate and respond to our own abilities to change our situation, to grow, and to create more freedom in our lives. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.